That was a long day.
I was trying to stay out of that one so you could get him.
You did fine. God knows we get rid of him.
Yeah, get him out of here.
Okay, I'm gonna roll on it now and
About growing up and what that was like.
With MT as my brother. Well, there was we grew up in really hard times. We grew up during the Dust Bowl days, Depression. 7 kids and my parents in a little house, just a very small house, and we had to work as all kids did in those days, and we worked hard. Everybody contributed their part of supporting the family, and like I say, MT just a year older than I am, so he was one of a twin, and it was kind of like having triplets. We were called the 3 little kids. I had 3 older brothers, and we were the 3 little kids. So,
One sister.
yeah, 1 sister.
Did he draw? Did he show any artistic talent back then?
Well, no, not that I can remember.
You did.
He was 2 years old. He was 2 years ahead of me in school, though. He was just a year older than I am. So.
Well, now, when he started doing this art, putting it out in the street for everybody to see, what kind of reactions did you get from that?
Well, when he first started that, some of these signs were a little offensive, and quite a few people in town did take offense to. He wasn't well received when he first started doing this, but I think a lot of people in this town, when he first started doing, did recognize his artistic ability, and for the most part, though, I don't think he was well received when he first started this venture of his out there.
Did that have any feedback on you as his brother and sister-in-law? Was there any kind of way it reacted back?
I don't know. I think he's a great artist. I don't always agree with his words, but I think he's good at what he does.
Yeah,
Some people kind of objected to it at first.
Yeah, I was county commissioner here for 4 years, and I was active in the judicial system in western Kansas, and I met a lot of people in western Kansas, and almost invariably when I introduced myself, they said, "Oh, are you in relation to M.T. Liggett at Mullenville?" So I was kind of the little brother to M.T., you know. Everybody in western Kansas, I think 99% of the people from Pratt West know who M.T. Liggett is.
I think about everybody in 105 counties knows who he is, because everywhere we go, that's what they ask.
And he is a character. There's no doubt he's a character. I think he likes to shock people, and I think if he can get somebody mad at him, he works at that, getting people mad at him. I think he likes to stir the pot, so to speak.
Did he always like that? Did he do that when he was a kid?
Yeah, he was kind of that way. He, of course, when we grew up, we had the normal sibling rivalry. We fought, you know, and sometimes it got a little serious, you know. And, I think he was always more or less that way. He liked to stir up trouble, and even in high school, he liked to do that.
Was his twin like that too?
No, his twin is on the opposite end of the spectrum from MT. They look nothing alike. They act nothing alike. If you were to talk to one of them and then 5 minutes later talk to the other without knowing, you probably wouldn't even know they were brothers, let alone twins. They're totally opposite.
So they weren't identical twins?
No, they weren't.
The two in the Navy together, but not together.
Yeah, they did go in the Navy together, and MT's retired from the military. 20-year, yeah.
Yep.
He spent several years in the Navy and then transferred in the Air Force and retired out of the Air Force. Went on to college and got some degrees in law. And I like to tease him. He got a degree in criminal law and a degree in law, and I always tease him that the only reason he did that so he could stay out of jail.
What happened to all the different siblings? Did everybody leave, or did anybody stay close to home?
No, one brother stayed and is still yet in this. He's the only one that went into farming. We were raised on a farm, and my sister and her husband were very successful business people in Southern California, and two of my older brothers were doctors, and then one of them is a rancher and farmer here yet today.
Was that on family land, or did he go out and buy his own land?
We started on family land, and then he progressed from there. Yes, he started on the same land that I was born on and raised on. That's where my brother started.
And that's where the fence is, right? Is that the home place?
Yeah, that is part of that. Where MT signs is the home place where we were raised. Yeah.
So when you drive by it and you look at it today, I mean, you have all those years of memory of what it was like before. Does it look anything like it did when you were growing up?
Well, there's nothing left of the farmstead. It was sold a good many years ago, probably 20 years ago, and the people that bought it tore down everything, and now they're farming over where MT. We were born on that old house out there. It was. I understand the house MT and I were born in was the original claim shack. Part of the house was the original claim shack that was built there when they homesteaded that land.
And part of the land's now the cemetery.
Yeah, and part of the land now is the cemetery.
And then that little lot on the road where it jogs back, that was also part of the family land?
Yeah, that was the pasture land. Yeah. We spent many hours playing in that pasture, MT and I and the other brothers.
Yeah. So did you what crops did you all raise?
Mostly wheat and barley, little Milo. Always had a few cows. We grew up during the dirty 30s. We milked a lot of cows, and that's how we survived the dirty 30s, milking cows and had our garden and our chickens. It's the only way we made it.
So, and did your family own that land then, or did they buy it later?
No, my family owned it. Yes.
They owned it. Okay. Oh, that's right. They got it from your grandparents.
From my grandfather. Yes.
Okay. Now, when you think about Kansas, and one of the things that struck us is it seems like there are an unusual number of people who do public art, if you want to call it like this, here in Kansas. Is there anything about being from Kansas that strikes you as you look at this, at what MT's done?
No, I don't know, other than farmers have a lot of time on their hands in the wintertime out here. Maybe that's one of the reasons to kind of fill the time. In the summertime, of course, they don't. I don't know if that had any effect why MT started that or not. I don't know. But I think originally MT got started with that. He built what he called some gargoyles. The gargoyles back in ancient times were built to keep away evil spirits. And he had some horses, and I think his first one was some gargoyles he built to keep the evil spirits away from the horses, and it progressed from there. And as you study those signs, you'll see there's a lot of them that have to do with Greek mythology. MT is a student of Greek mythology. He's studied it in depth, and you've probably noticed a lot of that is characters from Greek mythology.
And going through, as he mentioned, those hard times, I think that people learn to create something out of nothing. And I think that was a lot of it. And being able to do your own thing without depending on somebody else. I think that's just part of it.
Was there an orchard there?
There was an apple
Yeah.
orchard there.
Yeah, he did have some peach trees and apples. He turned these Brahma cattle in on them, and they killed them.
So had he done metalworking before?
Not to my knowledge. On the farm, we didn't have a torch or a welder, so this was something that he took up after he got out of the service and when he moved back here.
Now, are you the only two who moved back in retirement?
Yes.
So you were gone quite a
30 years.
30 years
California.
we lived in Southern California.
This was our home, and this was my goal to come back here when he retired.
We like the people here.
I
people-
like the Four Seasons.
People here are entirely different than they were in Southern California, and we like the kickback, laid-back manner of living here. And I think that's what really attracted us to come back here, was to get out of the rat race in Southern California. After 30 years, we'd had enough.
Hi.
What's the word on Helen?
She's not doing well.
So,
I'll talk to you pretty soon about it. Thank you.
You're on camera.
yes.
You just about got on camera. That's okay. That's not a problem. Not a problem. It isn't. Not at all. That's what I don't need to problem.
No, we asked, I tell you, to hold a shot.
On a farm, or
Yes. She was raised on a farm in Hollandale.
does that farm still exist in the
Yes.
family?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's still in your family?
Yes.
Yes. Well, yeah, in my mother's family.
Uh-huh. Because it seems like there's been an enormous consolidation of farmland around here. I wonder how many of the people who grew up on farms here still have, have a connection to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
I still have a connection there.
Yeah.
Back when we grew up, there was many farmsteads. Many people lived on the farm, and many of them you drive by, and there's absolutely no trace of them left. And you drive by, and it's kind of sad to see all these small farms disappear, and they're being swallowed up by the big farms. And so many of the farms have just went.
Do you think this was an area, well, let me just ask you about the political art that he has out there. When people talk about it, do a lot of people seem to agree with him as well as people not agreeing with him, or does it seem like a lot of those opinions are pretty unpopular about Waco and about the Clintons?
I think in this part of the country, a lot more people agree with him than disagree. This is a Republican stronghold here, and there are a few Democrats left in the county. I like to tease people that we cornered one down on Coon Creek the other day, but he got away. There are a few Democrats left, so I think basically people agree with the message he's getting out on his political totem poles.
Why were they offended then? When people were offended, what was it that offended them?
Well, I think it was some of the language. Some of the language was a little, shall we say, risque, and I think this offended people. And I had a totem pole there for a while. I was county commissioner, and he even put one up for me. So of course, you come to learn if you're going to be a political figure. You learn to take the shots, and so he put my sign up and put Liberal Democrat on it, and that's about as far from the truth as you can get. And he just did that to make me upset. So.
Said he joked back with him, so he took his name off.
That's okay. I saw so that was you.
Yeah, insult to injury was he took my name off the totem pole and put Ted Turner's on it, you know. So
Well, but tell him what was on it,
Lib-
not the Democrat, liberal Democrat.
liberal, I did.
Oh,
I just said that.
I didn't hear that. Sorry.
Well, it seems like a lot of his political figures that he has up there they're just people who are politicians, and they aren't necessarily, I mean, some of them are dicks and some of them aren't, it looks like.
Yeah.
They're
So
from all around this whole area, Dodge City and Patton, back then. All around.
so he in fact, I have had people ask me, how can I get a totem pole? You know, I mean, some people actually seek this out. How can I get a totem pole? And I said, just do something to make him mad and you'll get one. If any way he can get your dander up, he'll do it. So,
Yes, one of the things that struck us about Kansas is that people are pretty tolerant of each other. And I'm wondering if that's true, what I'm saying, that they all argue back and forth, but everybody kind of accepts everybody else's eccentricities. Do you see that to be true or not?
I think
that
about
sometimes
Kansas.
I think so. Yes.
They might argue, but if any of them get in trouble, there's usually there to help out each other.
Yeah, I think that's true. We may fuss and sometimes fight amongst ourselves, but don't let somebody else come in and offend us, because then you got the whole town against them, you see. So I think that's true of a lot of rural areas. So
I also had the feeling that people in rural areas who've known each other all their lives, or much of it, they know each other in a lot of different complex ways.
If they don't, they know your family.
and they know all the skeletons that are hiding in your closet. They know about them, and we still, even though we know what some of the skeletons are, we still accept those people. And I think that's one of the teachings of the Lord. You know, you have to look past a person's faults to really find what the true person is. And with MT's a lot of bluff and bluster, I think. And I think you really get down and you get all underneath that gruff exterior, I think you'll find a great big teddy bear, really. That's my opinion. So
Now, when people he gave us 2 articles, one that was in the senior, what was it called? It's a paper, the free paper for the seniors in western Kansas. And the other one was from a newspaper that we don't have the name of, a Sunday paper.
Hutchison paper, I think.
Which one?
Hutchison News.
It was Hutchison News, okay. And both of them didn't have very kind things to say about him. And what kind of do you remember them?
the Hutchison News is known to be very liberal. There's a lot of the media, I think, is liberal, and the Hutchison News, they were Clinton backers, they were Al Gore backers, and some of these signs there are very, might say, are offensive toward the Clintons, and I think this is probably why, because the Hutchison News did endorse the Clintons and they endorsed Al Gore. So anybody that says things about them, naturally they're going to be offended by it and they're going to react. And I think probably this is a reaction as a result of that. So.
And how did you react? Did you read that? And
yes, I've seen that.
How did you react?
Well, I think I just more or less, when I read that, I realized where the Hutchison News is coming from. And not only that, our hometown paper, the Greensburg, the Kiowa County Signal, they haven't been real receptive to MT or myself when I was county commissioner. They didn't like me at all, and this might have reflected in some of the reviews toward MT. And so
People did it.
yeah,
A lot of people did.
when I read something like this, I just consider the source. I'm not a fan of the Hutchinson News at all. So I wasn't offended by it, no.
There's a mutual non-admiration society.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Let me put down these Hutchinson.
I'm gonna hold shot.
That's okay.
That could have been in the Dodge City Daily Globe too, I'm not sure.
No, I think this was in the Hutch
Was it?
paper, wasn't it?
It doesn't have a label,
Okay.
so I'll put Hutchinson News with a question mark.
Yeah.
You know the thing that I'm a little perplexed by is MT has been written up in many magazines, many newspapers, New York Times.
And on TV.
He's been on TV many times, but as yet, our local newspaper from Greensburg has not. They haven't done a thing on him. So, you know, as it says in the Bible, the prophet is not without honor, save in his hometown. And I think the Kiowa County Signal kind of takes that to heart. I wish they would do something because this does attract people. You can go by the highway out there on a Sunday afternoon, and there'll be 10 or 15 cars stopped along there, and people out with their video cameras and looking at it. So with all the publicity he's had throughout the United States, I think it's kind of put our little town on the map. I'm proud of that, and so you got to give MT credit for that, even though he's had to wade through a lot of adverse publicity over it from some of his hometown people. He stuck with it. He lets that run off his back like water off a duck back, I think. So I think he's learned that.
Do you think the people who write the local media that cover or don't cover him, why do you think they ignore him?
Well, I know why, but I would rather not. I have to live here. I question the mentality of. No, I shouldn't say that. I question that their yeah, yes, okay, put it like that. They were, when I was county commissioner, they were highly critical of me, and so I'm not a fan of the Kiowa County Signal, and
I write for them.
and she writes several articles for them.
And it's kind of hard sometimes. But I was born and raised in Greensburg.
Are you their correspondent? Are you the big?
No, well, I just write a lot of different sub-articles and well, a lot of different.
Senior Citizen News and club articles. So
I have since, what, 94? Something like that.
Is there a very large senior citizens community here?
Yes.
in Greensburg they have a nice facility there.
And there are quite a few senior citizens here too, and they come over to our center a lot. There's a good communication between
It's in Kiowa County too?
It's in Greensburg.
So you just can't find
It's yes. The Senior Citizen Center there is supported. I won't say largely, but it's supported by the taxpayers. I would, when I was on the commission, I had the opportunity to increase their allotment each year I was on the commission, and I was proud of that. Because we're all going to be senior citizens one day.
and by donations.
Yeah, someday. I don't go there because, like I told Ray Lewis, it's the older people go there.
We just get ready for our 50th reunion, alumni reunion. So we're we're getting there.
Yeah. Does Kyle County have townships, or is it the 3 commissioners?
Yeah, just 3 commissioners.
So it's a southern system? Doesn't-
Used to
Yeah.
be,
I was the commissioner from this district
Oh,
until,
it's by districts? Okay.
yeah. And,
population.
yeah, and last November, I was defeated by 30 votes, so.
Is that partisan or nonpartisan election?
Oh, it's,
I mean, does it go by party? Do people run?
yeah, but I can't remember when the last time we had anybody running on the Democratic ticket for county commissioner. That's why I was a little hesitant in saying it. So everybody that I know that's been on the commission for years has been Republican, so I guess you could say it would be partisan, but
So you were defeated in the primary?
yes.
Yeah, okay.
He ran for 4 years, and he did a good job. So I think everybody ought to have a turn at that.
Yep. Well, I guess Kansas has been Republican since way back, since.
I think so, yeah. I think the last time they voted Democrat was when Al Smith was running back in, what, 36 or something. So we have a long history of being Republican here, yes. So.
Yep. Do you have other? Well, let me ask you just a little bit, because you have been involved in the county politics. Just to characterize the county and the area, how would you characterize the different areas? You know, if you think about farmers or religiously or by, different population centers, just the way you kind of think about it.
Well,
This is really for the historical documentation. This isn't for the film, but we're building this archive as well.
even though Mullenville and Greensburg are only 10 miles apart, on the political agenda, shall we say, with the schools and the commission, we're a lot further than 10 miles apart. There's been a lot of bad publicity. Their school board versus our school board. See, this is their junior high kids come here, and our high school kids go there. And there's been
drawn them together.
Yeah, there's been a lot of bad feelings, hurt feelings over this school consolidation. Greensburg seems to be trying to run the whole show, run our schools over here, and I don't think that's right. And of course, not many people here think that's right. So.
When did that consolidation happen?
Oh yes, yes.
You mean,
The high school.
oh, but not them all going over there.
No, I don't know when that started. About 10, 12 years ago, I would say. And I understand this will be the last year they do this.
So will they split then? Are they splitting apart into 2 separate school districts? Or?
Yes, some of them will go to Greensburg, some of them will go to Haviland.
But I think the senior citizens communicating with each other has drawn them a little closer.
Mm-hmm.
And the museum in Greensburg and the round barn.
The Round Barn Project. I don't know if you guys got down there or not.
No, we saw the signs to it.
Okay.
Down there.
That
We're on the round barn.
that's
We're on the round barn committee.
yes, we're proud of that. We were on the Round Barn Restoration Project. We were committee members of that, and we're quite proud of that.
And that's a recent.
Yes, it was restored in '95. Yes.
Are there any religious groups around the county that are distinctive in any way?
I think that
Or ethnic groups?
that's one thing.
No.
There are many different churches. There's about any church you can name that you could have a choice to go to. But they all kind of support one another. Like through the year, they'll have soup suppers. Everybody from here goes there, and they all support one another in that way.
So there aren't any kind of specific groups. I mean, we have Amish that are off.
No, we don't. They're on Quartet.
We do have the Mennonite population here.
Yes.
in the county.
Yes, and they have their own schools and their own church, and but I think the people, they're good people, and they're well thought of for the most part in the community. We interact well with them, and I had opportunity to work with them when I was commissioner, and they're good people.
Has the population of the county been holding steady, or is it losing population?
We're still losing.
And is the demographics getting older? Are the number of school children, is that declining, or is that?
Yes, yeah, we're losing kids every year. The kids grow up and they go to school and they leave the community for the most part. I think about the only kids that stay here is farmer kids, you know, that take over the family farm. And other than that, there's not much here for the kids. So I know we did. And when I graduated from high school, of course I had one of two choices: either go to the Navy or get drafted, you know. And but there was just enough farmland for one of the boys to be the farmer, and so naturally the rest of us pursued other careers.
And so getting back to MT, when he was in the Navy, their ships were right close to each other. And
Yeah, we served overseas. He was on one carrier and I was on another aircraft carrier, and we sometimes that we would in maneuvers we'd get so close we could yell at each other, wave at each other, you know. But we never were in port at the same time. I thought that was interesting.
Jane, check out MT's run what we saw.
Oh, right. MT ran for the legislature.
He did well in the primary.
He did.
Yeah.
How many votes did he get in the primary?
Oh, he got a lot of votes, a lot of votes in the primary. I think in one county he got like 1,500 votes in Pratt County, and see, there's 4 counties in this district. But the guy he was running against was a guy that's had it a couple terms, and he very well respected. One of the few Democrats in the county. So, but he did very well in the primary, but not too well in the general election.
So he won the primary.
Yeah, he was unopposed in the primary.
Oh, I see.
I don't think he really was that interested in getting it, because he didn't, put any ads or anything out much.
I think he did it on a lark. I really do.
Did he haul his trailer? You know,
Yes.
Did he take that all over? Or?
Yes, and it didn't go over well. So,
What did people say? What kinds of things did people say about it?
oh, they thought he was eccentric. And you know what I've told you about the eccentric. So, yeah, I don't think it was well received. I don't think it was well received right here in Monville. In fact, I know it wasn't. So, but like I say, I think he just did it on a lark. I can't imagine him putting on a suit and going to Topeka. That's not MT.
He said if he got it, he'd wear his overalls and his scarf up there.
And he would have. So.
Then he would have had to make a totem to himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been interesting, wouldn't it?
That's an idea.
Yeah.
Good idea.
So we've been back here 11 years now, and it's been interesting to be MT's brother. It really has.
They're alike, but very different.
And
Do people expect you to be like him?
yeah,
How has it been interesting?
well,
Because they expect Earl to be like him, and he really isn't like him.
in one respect, I'd like to be like MT. MT's a very intelligent person. I think you get by his bluff and his bluster, and and he's BS. When you get right down to it, he's a very intelligent. I wish I was as intelligent as he is, and but I think that a lot of the people have judged me on MT's credits. They have, because they say the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree, and they think that they can't really understand that I'm that much different than he is, and we are. There's a world of difference between MT and myself, and sometimes, to be right truthful with you, when he comes in here and puts on his act, it embarrasses the hell out of me. And so a lot of people have asked me, when they ask me if I'm MT's any relation, I said, well, he's some of my mother's relation. I don't know if he likes that or not, but teasingly, of course. But sometimes it's been a problem being MT's brother, because people are judging me as what they see, how he's acting, and sometimes it's been a problem.
Did they say anything explicit?
Well, no, but not to me. But other people have told me what other people have said. That I know it's in the last election. I've had several people tell me that they didn't vote for me because of MT. They were mad at MT. See, and that did. I have no doubt that cost me some votes. But in retrospect, it probably did me a favor. Because being a county commissioner, it's a hard job. It's a thankless job, and you can't be all things to all people, and you can't please all the people all the time. And it doesn't matter what decision you make, you're going to make somebody mad.
But he spent hours and hours with people, come to the house all hours of the day and night, and now they're already talking to him about, we got to get you back here.
Yeah. But it's a relief being. So I might could say thank you, MT. So.
Did you feel that way at the time?
Well, I was relieved, yeah. So in fact, I had a lot of times that I would get up and dress and get ready for a commissioner meeting. I really didn't want to go. And I'd ask Mary Lou, I said, why in the world am I doing this, I don't need this.
But he stuck with it.
So.
Okay, we're running out of battery? Okay. So what we need, we're out of battery. So yeah. So what we will be asking you to do is to sign a release that lets us use this material. And some of it, as I said, will go into archive, and some of it will be used in the video, which we're doing about MT. And so
Will we be able to see it?
the film, it'll be, well, we hope, we're expecting it to be on PBS station. That's their wanting it, and it'll probably be run fairly late.
Well,
We don't want to sanitize it. We want to treat it right. We
Yeah.
don't want to sanitize it.
In conclusion, I would like to say I'm proud of what he's done out there. Sometimes he gets under your skin, and but I'm proud of what he's done. So, and I'm not going to back down from what he's done, and I'm not going to apologize for what he's done. And he's MT, and I'm Earl, and we're entirely two different persons. But like I say, I'm proud of the guy, even if he is my brother, a big brother. So, well, I don't know what else to say other than if you make him mad and he knows that he's going to get under your skin, oh, look out. If he finds a chink there where he can get you going, he'll do it. He does that to me, So.
Do you have any final thoughts? tell us about your brother-in-law?
No, you just simply never know what to expect.
Yeah, that is for sure. You never know what this guy's going to do next. All right. Well, they broke the mold when they made him. It's probably a good thing. 'Cause I don't know if I know Maulville couldn't stand two of him. So, but it's been
I'm glad his mother had it, not me.
it's been interesting being his brother.
All those boys.
It's been interesting. So,
Well, thank you so much.
okay. Well, it's been our pleasure. Appreciate it.
So you're just gonna see silhouettes of it, is that right?
It's gonna be silhouettes, yeah. Because there's too much light in the back.
Hi, Mom.
There we go. Was it Mom?
Time to cool down.
We're fixing to roll here. Around heat up the meeting. You're in the shot, Jane.
19 and 20, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
You folks have a good day.
Oh, yeah, okay, you got that with it.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, that guy down there, yeah.
Left.
Hello there, Mr. Cole. How you doing?
Doing pretty good, Kenny.
All righty.
Like you been eating?
You're the camera, I if I get shot.
Yeah, thank you for letting me impose on you here, too.
Oh, no problem.
I appreciate it. You just came in to get something to eat, didn't come in for Hollywood, I know.
I'm not doing anything wrong.
Yeah, that's why we lost them all.
Place did cut thin out, didn't it?
Yeah, dude.
They all went too fast.
Oh, yeah. Them 9 joints couldn't even get steamed out. Thanks Good fence posts. And you take down all the restaurants in Greenwood.
Actually,
No, that's wrong.
there's 2 chicken fries and 2 pieces
Yeah.
of pie.
I get something wrong here. I get 2 cents for chicken fried.
Now, well, that's pretty good price.
Yeah, $11 and 12 cents. That's 20?
Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir.